Hi, I'm Ross Trachtenberg with Figure It Out Baseball. I'm the assistant coach at Westchester University, and I wanted to share some insight about pace of play and really making sure your team's playing at the right tempo. This is going to be based on your team, the chemistry, maturity, athleticism, stamina. All those things are going to let you know what pace you should play at. Do you have a very high energy group, super athletes that like to really get after it? If that's the case, then the full out sprint is the way to go. It's very clear you want to play into that. If you have perhaps a very mature team, a very cerebral team, a team that likes to go about things methodically, then go ahead and have a purposeful jog. Getting to your position in time, changing from one drill to the next in a practice setting. The walk takes too long, obviously, from one thing to the next, in and out on offense and defense. So again, having the right tempo can be a little bit determined by essentially your players, and also what your style is. You can figure this out during practice. So during practice, what type of situations, if you speed things up too much for your players, how do they respond? Do they really feed into that energy, or does that get their wheels spinning too much? If you slow things down, do they get anxious because they're thinking too much? So again, start to determine what that pace is and then practice at that pace. For us at the Division II level, there is pace of play rules, which do include amount of time in between innings, in between half innings. So we do practice that when we're doing inter squads or even coach pitch scrimmage, things of that nature, where we do have a clock going and we count that down for our players. It's also just pace of play. If a runner gets down the first baseline in 4.2 seconds, we want to make sure our infielders are practicing turning a double play in that time frame. So there's that pace of kind of hustling on and off the field, but there's also just the pace that you're repping out in terms of practice and having a routine there. Equally important is in working at a quick enough pace is also understanding when you need to slow things down for your team. This can be during a practice setting, and this can also be during a game setting. Oftentimes it's bringing the team together, giving a very short and concise message, and being able to let the players digest it and get right back to things. And again, practice that during your practice session. So if you're doing an inter squad and you have a teachable moment, bringing the team together, just like you would do if you did a defensive or offensive timeout, is a good thing to practice to be able to basically slow things down for your players in a practice setting. They get used to it, so when you call a timeout on defense or on offense, your players are really used to that, and communicate to them, this is what we're doing here. We're slowing things down for ourselves because we need to take advantage of this moment. We need to slow down the tempo of the game in general. Understand your players, understand their personalities, what they feed off of as a team. I think that can help determine the right pace of play. Another great thing to do as a coach, if you are able, is to sit back and watch the inter squad take place, a coach pitch scrimmage, things of that nature. If you can remove yourself slightly from it instead of umpiring or coaching a base, and watch a few innings or even an inning yourself removed from it, you can really take in, what does the observer see? Are the players really kind of working in unison? Or is this really not what you vision your team should look like? So sometimes you have to step away to see that and get opinions from other coaches in your program as well. Again, I hope this helps you give you some sense of how to dictate the pace of play for your team and find that right pace that keeps things moving but doesn't speed things up too much for your players. Again, I'm Ross Trachtenberg with Figure It Out Baseball. I look forward to sharing more information with you soon.